Hi guys, welcome to the live tutorial where we're gonna be making my stackable bracelets. Sorry for the late start. I got home from work late, so but let's jump right into it. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of ways that I like to make the stackable bracelets. One is the original way that I did it, and the other is a new way that I discovered that I like a lot better, actually. So first we're gonna do the original way that I first started making stackable bracelets. And if you ordered the supplies box from me, you got all the supplies to do both. So don't worry about that. You'll be able to do both ways. So we got our beads. These are the stackable bracelets that we're going to be making. It's going to look like this or like this. Super cute. You know, able to pair with whatever other jewelry. And the best thing is that you're making it so you can customize whatever colors you want and everything. Just some simple jewelry supplies. So wire clips, bead crimper, flat nose pliers, and most kits come with the round nose pliers also, which you're gonna want to use as well. And if you ordered my supplies box, you got all of these pliers and the bead crimps in it, along with a variety of beads. So I'll be using these Czech beads, which are size 8-/0, and then I'll also be using these Miyuki beads as well, which are 11-0. So I originally started making the stackable bracelets with regular beading wire. And I like to use the 0.45 millimeter, no bigger than, let's see, where is it? Got so many wires. Let's see. I think it's 0.38. Yeah, I think it's 0.38 millimeters. I don't like to go any bigger than that. Oh, sorry, 0.36 millimeters. And I only use this if I'm using the bigger 8-0 beads, just because it's harder to get the small Miyuki beads on the thicker wire. So if you don't know, this is a really good brand. It's really small and compactable. This brand I got from Walmart, and I actually love it. So super cheap, cheaper than most wires at beading or at a craft store, which is usually Beadalon or the Soft Flex. There's a few other brands. I don't really like the other brands. I just use Beadalon. The Soft Flex I've recently been using, and then the Walmart brand. So first we're gonna make a stackable bracelet with the beading wire, and then the second one we're actually going to make out of this clear cording. It's not stretchy. Okay, so you want non-stretchy, but this is Beadalon. You can see this is 0.40 millimeters. So I like to start out, you're going to cut 2 pieces, let's say about 8 to 9 inches, or you can measure on your wrist. My wrists are pretty small. Okay, so about there. But then you want to give yourself an extra, I don't know, 3.5 inches. And you'll see why. So we're gonna cut one. Use your wire cutters for this. And again, if you ordered my supplies box, then I already pre-cut all the wires for you and the clear cord as well. So 2. All right, and then you also would have gotten a couple of these. These are just beading stoppers. So you're going to put one of the beading stoppers about 2 or so inches up on one side of your wire. And then you're going to pick whichever beads you want. You can do whatever pattern you want your bracelet to look like. Like I said, I'm gonna do a bracelet with both the bigger beads and the smaller beads. So let's do the bigger beads first with the wire. And which colors? I think I'll do blue. Oh, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, picking out the colors of beads that I'm gonna use probably takes me the longest in the entire process. No matter what I'm beading, picking my colors always takes me the longest. I don't know why. I have to see all my options and then decide what I want to do. So actually, let's do these two. I'm just going to do these 2 colors. Now you can do the same colors for both parts of your bracelet, or you can do different colors. Again, totally up to you. So let's start. First, let's get out the rest of our supplies. So we've got our wire, we've got our bead stopper on there, we've picked out our beads. We're also gonna need 4. Oh, where did they go? 4 bead crimps, which again, if you got my supplies box that I mailed out, all of this came with it. Here's some. No idea where my little baggie went. It's okay. There's 2. Sorry guys, I thought that I had all my supplies right here. Aha, here they are. So they just look like this. And you want to make sure that they say bead crimps on them, okay? I know they look just like normal beads, but I promise you, compared to a normal bead and the bead crimp, when you actually crimp it with your bead crimps, if you use a regular bead, it doesn't crimp evenly and it's just a whole mess. So when you're going to get your supplies, make sure that they say bead crimps on them. I like the little tiny bead seed bead looking ones. They've got tube ones as well. For this project in particular, I like these ones. So we're going to need, for one bracelet, we're going to need 4 of them. So there's 2. Three, 4. Okay, so we got our bead crimps. crimp beads. And then we're also going to need 2 closed jump rings. These are very difficult to find. I don't know why. The only place that I can find them in an actual craft store is Hobby Lobby if you're in the US. I don't know why they're not accessible everywhere, because normal jump rings are open, except with these, you want them to be closed so that your wire or whatever cording you're using doesn't slip through the open slit part. So we're going to need 2 of those. And we'll just start with those for now. Obviously, we'll want a lobster clasp. And then I use also a tiny regular jump ring. You can see the size difference between the open and the closed. So just one of those, and then the lobster clasp. Okay. So back to beading our bracelet. So we've got our bead stopper on one of our pieces of wire here. And you can either use your bead mat, which again came with the supplies box that I shipped out. You can dump the beads on if you like and string them on from your bead mat. I personally, I just shake it towards the open part, and if you see how the beads are up close like that, and then I just string them onto my wire that way. Now you want to make sure that you count your beads also, because you want to have the same amount of beads on each wire for your stackable bracelet. So let's see, that's 6. And my wrist is pretty small. I would say it's about 5.5 inches around. So with the bigger beads, that's about 70 to 75 beads. With the smaller beads, it's about 80 to 85. Again, obviously, after you start stringing, you can double check however big you want your bracelet to be. So, and again, do whatever sequence you want. If you want just solid colors, then by all means, do your solid colors. If you want 12 colors for your bracelet, go ahead and do 12 colors. Oh no, I lost count. 4, 9, 10. That's too difficult to do with the camera. So let's see, how many do I have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 13, 14. Oh my gosh, if I can get it. Okay, so I've got 20 beads right there. I'm going to switch colors. And you don't have to string your beads this way if it's harder that way for you. However is easiest for you. That's the beauty of jewelry making and beading. There's no one way that you have to do it. You can do it whichever way you're comfortable with, whichever way is easier for you. So if this way doesn't work for you, however you want to string your beads, by all means. Let's see, that's 4, 9... It's 29, 30. 38, 39, and 40. Let's see, so that's 20 each. We'll do 10 more. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the pink, or actually, no, let's do some more blue. So let's see, it's 30, 50, 52. Here, and I'll show you guys. So that's 55 beads so far. And you just pull to measure. It's kind of hard when, there we go. So probably you want to keep in mind now, so between the jump ring, or both jump rings and the lobster clasp, it's going to give you about 3/4 of an inch more length. So probably want to do, we'll do 10 more beads. So 10 more beads, and then I think that will be about right for the length that I want. So that's 55, right? So 65 will be totaled. 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there I've got all my beads that I want to use. Now we're going to start one end of our bracelet, just so that we don't have to use so many bead stoppers and risk our beads falling off and everything. So what you're going to do is you're going to do bead crimp first, or sorry, crimp bead. It's just interchanging the two words, and it's totally two different things. It's so funny. And then your closed jump ring, one of them. Okay, and then you're just going to overlap your wire. So you're going to close in your jump ring and go back through your crimp bead. Now the one side, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to be perfect. Get your beads close up to your jump ring at all, because on the other side, we can pull it tight. So you want to give, let's see if you can see that. See how much room I have there? Because you want your bracelet to be able to slide on the jump ring also. And you can go even cinch it a little tighter. Oh, come on. There we go. You can cinch it a little tighter if you want. Okay, and if you've never used bead crimps before, so you see how on the far inside part, there's that little, it's like two little humps. So when I close it, there we go. See that little hump inside the circle? First, you're going to crimp your bead in the closest end in, and it's going to make kind of an M shape, or make two little humps. Kind of hard with that jump ring to see. Okay, so smoosh it. So you see how it made the same shape? Made the two little humps. There, if you can see that. Then you're going to go the opposite way. The next little circle, this smaller one over here, you're going to turn your humps so it's, or your U shape, so it's like that. So it's like a backward C or a C, or however you want to do it. And you're going to put it in that second circle. And close down. Okay. So if you can see, if I can get it to focus. So we pretty much squished it into a C using this side with the little hump. And then we turned it so that it's in the C or backward C shape. And you close your C and smoosh it or smash it. And that makes it so your wire is tight. Now, with the wires, I like to do this just because when you clip your wire, there's going to be a little pokey part. I guess it's not necessary, but I like to string my wire back through a few beads. Okay. See that? And we're just going to leave that there for now. Now we're going to do the other side. This originally isn't how I did it, but I just feel like it's much easier, especially so that, like I said, you don't have to worry about your beads falling off or anything, because sometimes these aren't the most reliable. Sometimes they will slide off. They're pretty good, but not all the time. So we're going to do the exact same thing on this side, except when we pull our wire, well, I'll show you. So crimp bead. Okay, thread it on. Closed jump ring. Now we're gonna loop in our jump ring. And back through our bead. Okay, now here is where we're gonna wanna cinch up our wire however tight, and it's easier to use some pliers for this a lot of the time. So this is what you want to be conscious of. So like that looks pretty good, right? You know, not excess wire showing, but you want to do the bend test. So you want to fold it in a circle, and you can't see this really. Sometimes you can see it where like the beads right here, they'll go a little bit jaggedy, but there's a lot of tension when you put it in a circle because it's going to be around your wrist, right? So we want to give it a little bit of slack, and sometimes that just means sliding up your crimp bead so that your beads have a little wiggle room. We're actually going to give it some more wire. Oh, maybe too much wire. So see now, the tension is much better. Now our beads have room and they're not so cramped together. So we're going to crimp again. So the inner with the hump, make our C shape. And make sure that you're conscious of the beads in the back. That your beads aren't stuck in your crimps, because you will smash them and break them off of your wire. So that's something that I have to be very conscious of. So we made our C shape here, and then our other circle and crimp. These are Walmart crimp beads, and I'm not gonna lie to you, they're not the best, but the normal crimp beads that I like. They were not in stock. Okay, and we're going to thread our wire back through a few beads again. You could do as many beads as will cover the rest of the wire if you want, or just a few of them, which may happen that way. Normally, when I'm stringing my beads on, I will put them over the wire as well. Okay, let's see, let's find our wire. Where are you? Oh, it's a lot longer than I thought. There he is. Okay. Now when we cut our wire, this is also why you want to give your beads a little wiggle room. So be conscious also to not like bend your wire a whole bunch, because it will kink your bracelet. Done that a handful of times. Trust me, it's a pain to try to unkink it. So you see the little tail that we've got here with our wire. We're just gonna bend it. Oh, let's take a little bit more off. We're just gonna bend it so that the bead below covers it. So no more wire. And we'll do the same to this side. A little bit more. There we go. Oh, much better. There we go. Okay. Oh no, our friend came out. So cover our friend back up. Alright, now we've got one part of our stackable bracelet done. Now, with our next wire, so since we're essentially making two bracelets that are connected together, right? So we don't need any more jump rings for this bracelet. We are going to crimp one end of our wire onto one side. Doesn't matter which jump ring, just one of them. We're going to crimp our next wire onto one side. Right, make sure to give it a little bit of room. And hump side first. Turn it. And close down. Oh, see, that one was a lot better. If you can see that. That is what it's supposed to look like. Alright, now let's string our beads. Let's see, I gotta start with blue, because I'm just gonna do the same pattern in the same direction. So there were, oh man, I forgot, 20, I think there were 65 beads. So that would be 45, we'll measure it. So, and here I'll show you how I'm just gonna thread the beads on the excess wire. so that we don't have to cut wire on one side. Oops. 6, 7, 10, 13, 14, 15. $27, $28, $29, $30, $1, $4, $5, $7, $38, $39, $40. First we're going to measure 40 because I feel like it may have been 40 beads. That blue. Oops. So you see how I'm just going to slide my beads over the excess wire just to cover it. So now we don't have to worry about that wire anymore. Let's measure. Okay, so we do need 5 more beads. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, perfect. Then there's 20 of the other color, or whatever pattern you're doing. Go ahead and do it. 5, 6. Okay, and 20. Okay, so we're even, same amount of beads on both sides. Let's double check. Sometimes I don't count right. Okay, looks pretty even to me. All right. Now, gonna grab our last crimp bead, put it on this end of our wire. Oops. Put it through the other end, the other closed jump ring. Loop around, back through our bead. Okay, let's do our bend test. That one needs a little bit more slack. Bend test again. Seems pretty good to me. Not too much tension. And our last crimp. So hump side. Turn it around. And smash it down. Now thread it through a couple beads. And before you crimp your bead, if you want to string your wire through some of the beads beforehand, go for it. I do either or. I'm not very consistent like that, I know. But when you've made 100 of these, you don't do them all the same every time. All right, now we just have to cut this one wire and hide our friend. Why does the camera keep focusing like that? Sorry guys, Instagram doesn't like me for some reason. Okay, so we're almost done with our bracelet. We've got it almost there. So now, this is where our smaller jump ring comes in and our lobster clasp. Okay, so this is where I like to use the flat nose and then the round nose, or just two different pliers. So when you open a jump ring, this one's kind of already open, you twist, do not pull. So twist open, do not pull open. Oh, come on now, there we go. So you want it to be opened quite a bit. If you need to adjust your pliers, you're going to hook on your lobster clasp, and then just one side, one other jump ring, like so. See? Okay, and then you twist back close. Remember, twist, don't pull. Make sure you guys see that. You can kind of see. So that little slit right there, that's where we twisted. So you just twist it back close. And then voila, you've got your stackable bracelet. So there's one. Put that up there. Now, let me put my beads away real quick. Now we're going to make one. Same process. Ooh, a little bit different. I'm actually not going to use one of the bead stoppers. Kind of the same concept where I like to crimp the wire or cord onto the jump ring. Just, I feel like it's more secure that way. And like I said, we're going to use this clear cording now. And the reason why I like to use this, one, like I was mentioning before, how you can, like if you see this, how our wiring got a little kinked. It's such a pain to unkink it, I'll tell you what. So that's another reason that I like to use this instead. Let's see, we're going to use this much. You can use regular scissors or your wire cutters. And again, I know that I'm repeated this 100 times, but if you bought the supplies box, then I did include both the wiring and some clear cord, and I pre-cut it for you. For our next live tutorial, I will be offering another supplies box. If you guys would like to order one, it's $25. Includes all the supplies that you're going to need for whatever the next live tutorial is, including pliers, and if we need crimp bead or bead crimps, then everything that you need I include in the box. And every box has 2-day shipping, so it's kind of nice. I know, I feel like it's a pretty good deal. And I also include some gifts in there, you know, bracelets I've made, or, you know, some charms or something like that. Just fun little gifts. And whenever I schedule the next live tutorial, I will let you guys know. Just check my story on when the new supplies box will be available. Okay, so we've got more crimp beads. We need 2 more closed jump rings, a small regular jump ring, and a lobster clasp. So like I said, we're going to, instead of using the bead stopper, I'm just going to hook on to one of the closed jump rings right from the get-go. So, hump side first, turn, and close. Come on, there we go. You can see that. Okay, and I was gonna use these beads this time. That's what these bracelets are made out of, is these. I just barely got these beads, and I love them. We're gonna do these colorful ones. Like I said, so we used 65 of the bigger beads, and it's about 10 to 15 beads more for the smaller ones. So these ones are nice and colorful, so I'm just gonna randomly string them on. And like I said, before we string our beads on the first bracelet, you can lay them out onto your beading mat if you'd like. I just like to bead them right from the container. Let's see, 6, 7, oops, double string on, 8, 10, 11, 12, Now you guys know how slow I really am at beading compared to my tutorials. I am a pretty slow beater, honestly. Oh no, lost count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. I do speed up my footage quite a bit, just so that I'm not putting out 5-minute long tutorials of me slowly stringing on beads. 5. Two. 52. We're almost there. I know. So painful. 53. 4. 6. 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 70. We're gonna measure to see how far along, how much further we need. Let's see, 10 more beads. Actually, we'll do 15 more beads to be safe. Three. Eight. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And if any of you have questions, feel free to ask. I will try to pay attention to my phone so I can answer them for you as well. Okay, so we're gonna cover this end. Okay. And crimp bead. Other closed lobster clasp. Ooh, fling it across the room. The nice thing about using this clear cord also is doesn't matter. You don't have to hide it like with the wires because it's not going to poke you. It's not going to hurt. So that's another reason that I like to use this. I mean, I still use the wiring and everything, but I do like using this better. So we're going to do our bend test. See, we got to loosen that up a bit. Okay. Crimp our bead. Hump side first. Turn it. And I'm going to get regular scissors for this. And just cut it off. Right, now, so that's one side. Gonna do our other. Same steps, last steps as the first bracelet. So, string onto our jump ring. Crimp bead, get it on there. I hate how the camera keeps refocusing like that. I hope you guys can't see that because it's really obnoxious. I apologize if you can. Keep bumping my stand too. Crimp and crimp. Alright, now we're going to string 75 beads. 7. $30. 40. 50, 25 more, right? We did 75. I'm not very good at remembering, if you guys can't tell. 53. 56. 'Kay, that's 70. Let's measure, because I don't remember. Oh, maybe I did 80. Okay. Guess we'll do 10 more. All right. We're almost there, guys, I know. I appreciate those of you that have stuck around. I hope that I'm explaining it good enough. And if you decide to make any stackable bracelets, please tag me. And or send me a picture, direct message. I would love to see them. All right. So crimp bead. Let's do our bend test here. Do a little bit looser. Oops. Slide back up. And cut. Now choose whichever side you want, doesn't matter. And we're going to loop our jump ring on. This one is already kind of open as well. Remember, twist, don't pull. So, now focus in. Come on now. Okay, well, I'll twist and then show you. So, twist. The camera does not like me today. Twist. Put our lobster clasp on there. And this. And then we're going to twist back close. And there we go. Alright, thanks for joining me, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section and I will answer them. And then till next time, look for my story on when and what the next live tutorial will be. And thanks for joining me, guys.